Poland refuses to take any Muslim migrants after latest terrorist attack. The head of Polish National Security Office has announced that the country will not be taking any Muslim migrants after the latest terrorist attack in Spain, saying poor integrated Muslim communities allow terrorism to fester. Well, Poland got some backbone, didn't it? Prola Skula, might be mispronouncing, head of Polish National Security Office, made the comments in reaction to the recent terrorist attacks in Barcelona and Cambridge last week. We are convinced by the latest attacks that there is a neutral base for terrorists where large numbers of poorly integrated Muslims live, Skula said, according to the Austrian newspaper Kronzing. I might be mispronouncing. I see a growing number of Muslim refugees in search of terrorism, Skottos said, and added that there was evidence of a potential migrant wave headed for Poland. The comments from the security officer chief are in line with the general sentiment expressed by other nations in the Visegrad Group, Hungary, Czech Republic, and Slovenia, who have all resisted the redistribution of migrants by the European Union. Good. Polish Prime Minister Beata Szydło, might be mispronouncing, made similar comments in 2016 when she said, I see no possibility refugees will come to Poland. Bulgarian political science Ivan Glass, might be mispronouncing, has analysed the reasons for the rejections of mass migration in Eastern European states, saying many of the countries are now ethnically extremely heterogeneous. Multiculturalism is often interpreted as a step back into the past. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, I might be mispronouncing, has used similar terms, saying that the current push for mass migration and multiculturalism in the EU was like Slovenianization, and called Europeans to maintain the continent's Christian roots. We're Hungary, we wish to remain a European nation rather than becoming an ethnic majority in Europe, Oblast said. He said that many observed the lack of integration from Roman Gypsies people who in Eastern Europe and wondered if the countries cannot integrate them. Then how can they integrate people from Syria who come from much different cultures? Well, that's a good point, actually. Whilst many have attacked Hungary and Poland for refusing to take asylum seekers, including the EU, which has threatened both nations, and countries have taken in some migrants in certain cases. One of the most recent cases involved an Iranian Christian convert named Adi Stadrijan, might be mispronouncing also, who was rejected for asylum by the Swedish government. Earlier this month, the Hungarian government announced they would take the actress rather than see her deported to Iran, where she could face prison or even the death penalty. So, what's this all about? Okay, so I must admit, I haven't actually been making videos on this. I have been following it, but I haven't actually made many videos because I've been sort of watching to see what happens. But Poland and a few countries in the EU have said no, we are not taking refugees due to the fact that they're not integrating in society, and that's when they use the Roman Gypsies as an example, saying, look, these guys could not integrate into society. How are we supposed to get the Syrians to do it when they're from a much worse culture? So, a pretty valid point. Now, since then, obviously the EU is trying to force Poland and these other countries to take these refugees because, well, Rome's turned around and said, we don't want any more, we can't take any more, get them out of our city. Obviously, other countries are turning around and starting to buckle under the sheer amount of weight that is coming in from these refugees and migrants. And at the end of the day, a lot of countries like Sweden and France at the moment currently has 80-something no-go zones. It's insane. And Sweden, well, women are too afraid to walk home after dark because they're afraid of getting raped, murdered, or both. So at the end of the day, not so great news for them either. Now, obviously, over in Sweden, also keep in mind that they've also had music festivals which they tried to make women only. That didn't work, so now they're just flat out cancelling music festivals because they're worried women will be raped by the migrants. This is what happens when you mass import a culture. It doesn't actually work, people, but regardless. So obviously looking at all this, Poland, Czech Republic, a few countries have turned around and said, no fucking way, we don't want this shit in our country, and they're refusing to take the Muslim culture. Now that said, Poland actually has a somewhat decent army of over 100,000 troops. So it's not like it doesn't have an army to defend itself. And the EU obviously is very reluctant to go to war with Poland because then it'd be like it's sort of cannibalizing itself and eating itself, and it doesn't look good for them. Not to mention the fact that they're not sure if America would actually back up Poland, or what about Australia, for example, would they support Poland? It would look really bad. Not to mention the fact that they've got bigger problems at the moment with Brexit happening. If that goes through, the whole EU could collapse anyway. So at the end of the day, they've got bigger fish to worry about than Poland not taking refugees. But that said, like I say, you can fully support Poland going through and not wanting these in the culture. Obviously, they've seen Paris, they've seen France, they've seen all the terrorist attack in Spain. They've seen all these countries being ripped apart by all these mass migration and refugees, and they don't want a bar of it. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you support Poland? Do you think they should be forced to take these refugees? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new channel, welcome and subscribe. And apart from that, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube.